Grayson, the Big 12 games this week to close this thing out.
Yeah, let's go to the Big 12 schedule. So we'll start with Thursday, September 1st. Central Michigan travels to Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State at 6 p.m. on FS1. Are the Cowboys going to get upset week 1 of the season?
No. Spencer Sanders should play well, I would think. This is a big year for him, his final year for him, and I'm curious to see Derek Mason's defense a little bit, to what extent we see, what he displays, but no, I'm not worried about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma State to win this game. I will take them 41-21. I think they get this one pretty handedly, but I do think Central Michigan will, score some points and do a couple things that are tough, especially in week 1 of the season. That Central Michigan's actually a decent football program. Next game up at the same time, West Virginia at Pittsburgh, number 17 ranked Pittsburgh on ESPN. The Backyard Brawl is back. Who do you got in this one?
I have no idea on this game. I'm not major on West Virginia, but, Pitt's had a lot of turnover as well between quarterback and obviously Jordan Addison. But come on, Neil Brown's got to win this game, right? I mean, this would be a huge win for the Mountaineers. I don't have a great feel one way or the other. I mean, part of me kind of is leaning Pitt, and I don't know why. Keaton Slovis has just won me over, I suppose. I don't know, but for West Virginia's sake, I'll go with the Mountaineers in this game.
Yeah, Pitt's defense is very, very good, and that's going to be some problems for West Virginia. I'm a believer in West Virginia, and I think they're going to win either this game or the game at Virginia Tech in a few weeks, and I've been going back and forth on which one I think they're going to win. I'm going to take them. I think I'm going to take them to win this game. Okay. I do. It's at the Steelers Stadium, I believe, for this one. So kind of a home game for Pitt. So I'll go with West Virginia. I think they're going to take this one 24-21. Really, really close game, but I like the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I think Pitt is favored in this game.
7.5.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with the Mountaineers.
Moving on to Friday, Tennessee Tech travels to Kansas at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Do the Jayhawks get one step closer to covering their over-under season win total of 2.5?
Well, they damn sure better, because if they don't beat Tennessee Tech, then there's not a whole lot of hope the rest of the way, that's for sure. But, yeah, they get a win in game number 1.
Yeah, I like Kansas winning this one pretty easily. I'll take them 37-13 to knock off Tennessee Tech in the first game of the year. Next up, TCU travels to Colorado. 9 p.m. on ESPN. Do the Horned Frogs get a win in Sonny Dykes' first game as the head coach?
I say yes, because even though they have a lot of questions, I still like them better in the shape that they're in, better than Colorado. Colorado could very well be looking at changing coaches again in the near future. They don't really have an identity. The reason I even watched a lot of Colorado, the plethora of Texas kids has started to even fade a bit. They're kind of there, man. They're not a factor in today's college football, really. And TCU's trying to become a factor once again. And they were, obviously very rocky year last year. I think they're going to have a lot less stress to be playing with, and it's going to be different. But, again, this isn't an offense that Sonny Dykes bringing in that's going to, take them several games to figure out how they're, operating or anything like that. So I think they've got just enough talent coming back, even if the quarterback's a major question and who all that will be and everything. They've got a couple guys they know a little bit about, at least. It's not a complete question mark. So, yeah, I'm going TCU in this game.
Yeah, TCU is a 13.5-point favorite. I think that's entirely too many points.
That's a lot, yeah.
Colorado, all 4 of their wins last year were at home. They also lost to Texas A&M 10-7 the first game of the year last year. I think people forget that. They took A&M to the wire to start the season. I think TCU is going to have some problems trying to score in this game, but I think Colorado will have issues as well because they're just not very good. Ultimately, I think TCU will win this game, but I think it is going to be tight. It's going to be a very, very close game. I'll take the Horned Frogs 27-20. They'll knock off Colorado. Moving on to the Saturday slate, Southeast Missouri State travels to Ames to take on Iowa State at 1 p.m. on ESPN+.
Iowa State moving on.
Yeah, Iowa State wins this one 45-13. Easy win for the Cyclones. Next
Even
up,
though they've stumbled out of the gates the last few years, it seems like.
Well, it's always week 2 when they play Iowa.
Yeah, it's always a little shaky start somewhere for them, but yeah, not this week.
Don't worry, I'll be taking Iowa next week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Next game up, UTEP, who lost their first game of the year to North Texas. Texas, I believe. They travel to Norman to take on number 9 ranked Oklahoma at 2:30 on Fox. First game for Brent Venables as the head coach.
That'll be interesting, just the wrinkles of having a new era begin, but this is all Oklahoma, and I'm not worried about it one single bit.
Yeah, this can be a blowout. I like Oklahoma 55-17 to knock off UTEP. Next up is South Dakota traveling to Kansas State to take on the Wildcats at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. Lots of high hopes for Kansas State this year.
Yeah, there is, so much so that I'm starting to kind of like want to downplay them a little bit because now it's kind of running out of control of just the K-State love. But, it's valid for the reasons that are often cited, Deuce Vaughn and Adrian Martinez when he's good. But, again, there's always that caveat of, like, if he can be good, if he can not turn the ball over, but if he can do that, like, they could be really stinking good potentially on offense. But, yeah, K-State all day.
Yeah, I'm going to take K-State, but Kansas State struggles in these type of matchups historically. They play these games really close, and South Dakota is a pretty good FCS program, so I'll take them to win it 35-17, but I think it'll be closer than the scoreboard says by the end of it. Next up, Murray State travels to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. This game's at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus as the Joey McGuire era begins.
Yeah, they've certainly, gosh, I mean, is that place going to be able to contain the excitement? They've been literally building it up for like 10 months at this point, a little less than that, I guess. Actually, yeah, a few months, but it seems like it's been 10 months. I mean, the countdown and all of the offseason hype. So I'm excited to just finally see it, excited to see what that team looks like, and, yeah, I expect them to get a win.
Yeah, the route is on in this one. I think Tech's going to run up the score as much as they possibly can. So I like Texas Tech to win this one 55-16. Next up, UL Monroe traveling to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns at 7 p.m. on the Longhorn Network.
Texas has a lot of weirdness surrounding it right now, and I don't know how much of it's reality and how much of it's just people putting that on them and being weird about them and everything that they do, like the depth chart thing. Like, I see why you can read into that, and I can also see why it's stupid to read into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know where Texas is. Like, is it all just preseason talk that's like wishful thinking on the part of people, or is it still just kind of a weird, era of Sark finding his footing? And I don't know. I don't know what to make of them, man. Like, every year is just a crapshoot on whether it's legitimate hype or not, and mostly it's been not. But I do think they're exceptionally talented at several spots. I know it's what's said every year, but I'll pick Texas in this game. But I really don't know. I'm fascinated to see, like, what version of this team will we really see this season, and what does that mean ultimately in the long run?
Yeah, too much offense on the Texas side, but I do think UL Monroe will put up some points, and I think they will stretch the Texas defense a little bit. I like Texas 52-24, but I'm really intrigued to see how Quinn Ewers does in his first start. All those weapons
finally,
if it comes together.
Finally.
Yeah. And then what their offensive line looks like as well. That's going to be very important to watch. And finally, the game of the week, like it is every week, Baylor taking on Albany. Albany traveling to McLean Stadium to take on the number 10 ranked Baylor Bears. This game's at 6 p.m. on ESPN+.
Yeah, I'm going Baylor all day. I would get in trouble here as far as like the spread and all that. That's why 6 touchdowns. I mean, in theory they should win by that, but I mean that's also asking a lot to win by 6 touchdowns. So, anyways, I expect them to win massive. I don't know if it'll be 42 points or not, but I expect them to win comfortably and for everybody to have a nice, relaxing Saturday evening.
Yeah, I'll take Baylor 66-10. I think they're going to blow the doors off this one. I think it'll be a blowout, and even the backups will be able to run the football against Albany. So I got Baylor winning that one extremely easily, but that's to be expected. Albany, not a great program and in the FCS level.